Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Get ready because today we are going to completely dismantle literally everything you thought you knew about breakfast. We are breaking down the exact step-by-step morning protocol from Max Lugavere's book, Genius Foods. So if you want to optimize your brain health, prevent disease, and just think sharper throughout the whole day, you are in exactly the right place.
Let me ask you something. Are you ready to permanently swap out that dreaded mid-morning brain fog for peak, unshakable cognition? Look, we've all been there, right? It's 10:30 a.m., you're sluggish, and you're already reaching for that second or third cup of coffee. Well, today, we're uncovering the unexpected, science-backed truth about what really feeds our minds. And, spoiler alert, it's probably the exact opposite of what's sitting in your pantry right now. So here's our roadmap for the morning. First, the salty morning secret. Then, we'll master your morning hormones. Move on to rethinking breakfast foods. And finally, we'll build the better brain bowl. Let's get to it.
All right, part one, the salty morning secret. Okay, let's dive into this. The very first thing you should consume when you open your eyes isn't coffee, and it's definitely not food. It's actually a glass of water with a pinch of mineral salt. Yeah, you heard me right. A really high-quality mineral salt like pink Himalayan or Redmond real salt.
Now, I know sodium has been heavily demonized for decades, but the truth is, sodium is an absolutely crucial macromineral. What's really fascinating is the basic biology happening inside you, especially if you lean towards a lower-carb lifestyle. See, carbs are highly insulin-stimulating. When you eat fewer of them, your body naturally pumps out less insulin. And when you have less insulin circulating, your kidneys basically start to spill sodium. They just flush it right out. The real problem with our modern grocery aisles is that processed foods are slapped with a low-sodium label to look healthy, but it's the processed garbage that's bad for you, not the salt itself.
So why does this matter? Well, it's absolutely crucial to understand what happens when we don't have enough sodium. We can slip into a state called hyponatremia. Clinically low sodium levels are incredibly dangerous. In fact, they can actually manifest as symptoms of dementia. So, before you start panicking about losing your memory, you might literally just need a dash of pink salt. Plus, if you've ever had those intense muscle cramps or that sluggish, low-carb flu when changing up your diet, it's highly likely you just needed more sodium. Just adding that one simple pinch of mineral salt to your morning water keeps your blood pressure optimal, boosts your alertness, and sets your brain up for a highly energized day.
Moving on to part two, master your morning hormones. So you've had your salt water, but hold on. Before you go rushing off to the fridge, you need to wait 1 to 2 hours. I know, we all grew up hearing that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but stuffing your face immediately upon waking completely disrupts your natural biological rhythm. We need to let our waking hormones do their thing first. Let's look at the epic clash between two heavy-hitting hormones, cortisol and insulin. Think of cortisol as your body's chief waking hormone. It is deeply catabolic, which basically just means it works to break things down. It peaks about 45 minutes after you wake up, and its whole job is to liberate stored fats and sugars to naturally fuel your brain and muscles. Insulin, on the flip side, is an anabolic hormone. It wants to build and store. So imagine waking up and immediately eating a huge high-carb breakfast, like a bowl of cereal or a muffin. You are spiking your insulin at the exact moment your cortisol is naturally peaking.
And this brilliantly illustrates why that combo is a total recipe for disaster. Having elevated cortisol and elevated insulin circulating at the exact same time creates a literal one-way valve on your fat cells. Because insulin blocks the fat-burning process, cortisol just continues its catabolic breakdown, but it shifts to breaking down your muscles instead. You're essentially redistributing your body weight from muscle right into fat. It's just a terrible combination.
Okay, let's do a quick recap of our timeline so far. Step 1. Hydrate with your mineral salt water to grab those crucial electrolytes. Step 2. Wait 1 to 2 hours so your cortisol can naturally liberate fuel for your brain, totally free from the interference of insulin. And then, Step 3. It is time to prepare for the ultimate cognitive meal, which just so happens to be a huge fatty salad.
Which brings us to part three, rethinking breakfast foods. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. A giant salad at 8 a.m. sounds like sheer absurdity, right? We've been completely conditioned by decades of marketing to feel like eating greens in the morning is fundamentally wrong. But I want to challenge you to decondition yourself right now. Seriously, there is no biological rule anywhere that dictates what a breakfast food actually is.
Just think about this powerful quote, originally inspired by Michael Pollan and echoed by Max Lugavere. Most commonly consumed breakfast foods are not foods, but food-like products. Cereal, muffins, waffles, pancakes, these were sold to us by massive food manufacturers just to push cheap, processed grains. I hate to break it to you, but neon-colored loops are not part of a natural human diet. Lugavere actually refers to them as never foods. We really need to replace these manufactured illusions with real nutrient-dense ingredients.
So what exactly goes into this brain-boosting morning salad? Well, here is the exact formula. First, you start with a massive base of dark leafy greens. Kale, arugula, and spinach are definitely top tier. Second, you douse it in extra virgin olive oil. Third, you add prebiotic fiber, maybe pairing the whole thing with a nice kombucha. And fourth, you throw in a high-quality protein, like chicken, eggs, or some grass-fed steak. Why this specific meal, you ask? A fascinating study out of a Russian university showed that people who eat a large, dark leafy green salad every single day literally have brains that look 11 years younger on scans. 11 years! Now, you might be wondering, why do we have to absolutely douse those healthy greens in extra virgin olive oil? Well, without fat, your body's absorption of the most valuable nutrients in those greens is basically negligible. The fat acts as a literal slip and slide for the nutrients. It allows them to glide seamlessly into your bloodstream and go right up to your brain. Without the oil, you're missing out on the primary cognitive benefits of the greens entirely.
Next up, we have to talk about the gut-brain connection. When you combine the prebiotic fiber from those greens with a probiotic, like your bottle of kombucha, you create something called synbiotics. This powerful combination activates the metabolism of the good bacteria, literally helping them take up permanent residence in your gut. And a healthy gut means lower inflammation throughout your body, which directly translates to clearer, sharper thinking.
And finally, the protein. Adding chicken, steak, or eggs effectively turns off your hunger signals for the rest of the day. This is explained by something called the protein leverage hypothesis. This hypothesis states that our entire hunger mechanism is actually driven by our body's deep evolutionary need for protein. Meat supplies almost every single nutrient the human body requires. So when you consume enough high-quality protein, your body sends a signal straight to your brain saying, hey, we have all the nutrients we need, you can stop being hungry now. All right, moving into part 4, the better brain bowl. Now look, I hear you. What if you're rushed for time? What if you simply cannot bring yourself to chop up a massive pile of kale before your morning commute? Don't worry at all. There's a fast, highly portable alternative that is actually Max Lugavere's personal favorite. He famously calls it the Better Brain Bowl. The Better Brain Bowl is just beautiful in its simplicity. It consists of sardines mixed with avocado, a handful of greens, and a generous drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. That's it. It takes maybe 60 seconds to make. And hey, if you're still kind of hesitant about fish for breakfast, you can easily swap the sardines for eggs or a bit of smoked salmon. But before you do that, let me just make a quick case for the true star of this bowl.
Behold, the sardine superpower! People so often confuse sardines with anchovies, assuming they're overly salty and super fishy, but they aren't. Sardines are incredibly meaty, really mild, ultra cheap, highly portable, and just absolutely packed with DHA, healthy fats, selenium, and protein. Best of all, because they're so small and sit so low on the food chain, they carry a very low risk of heavy metal accumulation, unlike larger predatory fish like tuna. They really are the ultimate brain food, just hiding right there in plain sight. So, the science is clear, the protocol is totally set. The only question left is, are you ready to swap your cereal for sardines, optimize your brain, and see exactly how much younger and sharper your mind can truly feel tomorrow morning? The choice is entirely yours.